Welcome to Anatomy in Nutshell. In this video, we are going to talk about anatomy of trachea. Before going to the topic, if you are not subscribed this channel, subscribe the Anatomy in Nutshell channel. Trachea, otherwise called windpipe, it is a cartilaginous and membranous tube. It is a content of the superior and posterior mediastinum. The upper end is continuous with the larynx. The lower end is divided into right and left principal bronchus. The posterior free end of the cartilage, bridged by a band of a smooth muscle, is called trachealis. The fibroelastic ligament which permit the expansion of the esophagus during the passage of food. The upper end of the trachea lies at the lower border of the cricoid cartilage and opposite to the C6, that is sixth cervical vertebra in the neck, and the lower border of the T4 vertebra in the thorax. In living subjects, in the erect posture, the bifurcation lies at the lower border of the sixth thoracic vertebra. It descends still further during inspiration. It lies in the median plane, but in the lower end, it deviates slightly to the right. Then it runs downwards. The trachea passes slightly backwards, following the curvature of the spine. Coming to the dimensions of the trachea, the length is about 10 to 15 cm. The external diameter is about 2 cm in males and 1.5 cm in females. The internal diameter is about 12 mm in adult and 3 mm in newborn. The lumen is smaller in the living than in the cadaver. The lumen 3 mm at the age of the 1 year and increases 1 mm every year up to the age of 12 years. The continuation of the larynx begins at the lower border of the cricoid cartilage at the level of the C6 vertebra, about 5 cm above the jugular notch. Enters the thoracic inlet in the midline, passes downwards and backwards behind the manubrium sterni to terminate into the two principal bronchi at the level of the T4 vertebra. Coming to the relations, anteriorly in the neck related to the isthmus of the thyroid gland, that is the second, third and fourth tracheal rings, and the inferior thyroid veins, the sternohyoid and sternothyroid muscles and the deep cervical fascia. Coming to the relations in the thoracic part of the trachea, anterior is related to the arch of aorta, brachiocephalic trunk and left common carotid artery and left brachiocephalic vein, superior vena cava and deep cardiac plexus. The posterior relations are the esophagus, vertebral column and left recurrent laryngeal nerve. On the right side, right lung and pleura, acegas vein and right vagus nerve. On the left side, arch of aorta, left common carotid artery, left subclavian artery, left vagus nerve and left recurrent laryngeal nerve. Coming to the blood supply of the trachea receives its blood supply from branches of the inferior thyroid artery in the neck and branchial artery in the thorax. The venous drainage by the left brachiocephalic vein. The lymphatics by the pretracheal and the paratracheal group of the lymph nodes. The nerve supply by the parasympathetic from the vagus and recurrent laryngeal nerves. It carries the sensory and the secretomotor fibers to the mucous membrane and motor to the trachealis muscle. Sympathetic fibers from the middle cervical ganglion. The trachea divides into two main bronchus, the right and the left bronchi at the level of the sternal angle. The anatomical point is called the carina. The right bronchus is wider, shorter, and it's about 2.5 cm length and enters the right lung nearly about T5 vertebra. The left bronchus is smaller in caliber but longer than the right. It is about 5 cm in length. It enters the root of the left lung opposite to the T6 vertebra. So the right bronchus, the inhaled foreign body is much more likely to enter the right bronchus because of the wider, shorter and steeper nature. The principal bronchus divided into the secondary bronchi, otherwise called lobar bronchus. There is one secondary bronchus for each lobe of the lung. So, right lung has 3 lobes. So, 3 lobar bronchus and left lung has 2 lobes. So, 2 lobar bronchus. The left main bronchus enters the hilum and divides into superior and inferior lobar bronchus. The right main bronchus gives off the bronchus to the upper, middle and the lobar bronchi. Each lobar bronchi divided into tertiary bronchus, otherwise called segmental bronchi. Each segmental bronchus enters the bronchopulmonary segment. The bronchopulmonary segment is pyramidal in shape with its apex directed towards the hilum. Each bronchopulmonary segment has its own segmental bronchus, artery and lymphatics. The veins are in the intersegmental in position. So after the tertiary bronchus, about 16 division it undergoes and enters into the alveoli of the lung. Coming to the applied aspects of the trachea, so normally the trachea lies in the midline In case of any lung pathology, it deviates to one side. So that is called the mediastinal shift. And the second thing is called the tracheal tug. The tracheal tug, otherwise called Oliver's sign, most commonly seen in the case of aortic aneurysm, when we can see a slight downward movement of the trachea during the systole in case of the aortic aneurysm. That is called Oliver's sign. And the tracheostomy, usually the tracheostomy done at the level of the second, third and fourth tracheal rings. Two more types are there. They are called high level tracheostomy and low level tracheostomy. And the foreign body aspiration is more common in the right bronchus. In case of thyroid enlargement, it obstructs the trachea and produces dyspnea. This picture shows the tracheostomy, and this is the foreign body injection in the right bronchus. Thank you. Watch more videos in the Anatomy in Nutshell channel and subscribe the Anatomy in Nutshell channel. Thank you.